Hey everyone, this is a tutorial on how to ombre dye with iDye poly dye. It's a little different than just natural cotton because you have to do it over a stove. Things you'll need are a boiling pot of water, some gloves, the poly dye that you're using. I'm using the iDye brand, and your fabric that is wet. Add your dye with whatever method you're using. This one just says to throw the whole packet in. It's actually really satisfying when you put it in. It also has like a color booster. I'm not really sure what that means, but whatever, you put that into and mix it around until it's like fully dissolved and just really in there. The fabric I'm using is 100% polyester and it's super thin. So while doing it, I tried to do it the regular way where you kind of flatten the fabric out and then dip dye it. By the way, I didn't want the top to be white, so that's why I dipped the whole thing in orange. But anyways, I eventually figured out because my fabric was so thin, I didn't have to stretch it out all the way and be all nice about it. I could just fold it up and dip dye it. So I started doing it that way once I figured out the whole situation. If you're using a natural dye like cotton, and you don't need to be over the boiling stove the whole time, I would get a big container and flatten the fabric out completely. Even if you're using poly, I guess, and it's a thicker material, if it's bent up, it'll affect the dye. But since this is so thin, it's fine. Once you have dyed your fabric for 30 minutes, take it over your sink and give it a good rinse with warm and cold water. This is what it looks like when it's done. This is just after rinsing. I'm really happy with how vibrant it is. For those of you who have tried to dye with poly fabric before, it's super difficult to dye. So this actually worked out really well for me. It's light on the top, dark on the bottom, and all I did was just dip. You know, it was super easy. I was really scared to do this because I've never done ombre before, but this worked out really well. So if you want to do poly ombre dye, would definitely suggest iDye poly. I hope this helped.